Hello once again. This is I think it must be on the 7th video in my series about learning to play the notes. I'm learning to understand the notes on one of these, a DG Melodeon. If you've not done so already, I suggest watching the other videos before this one, otherwise it's not going to make a lot of sense to you. I've split them up just for ease of viewing really. So what I promised in the last video is what we're going to do. We're going to learn the remaining notes on this inner row up towards this end. In maybe the third or fourth video we did, we worked on G major scale, and we got so far with that, we got up to the B note, so we already should know, starting on the fourth button for this instrument. So that's a G, and then we learnt two more notes after that, A and then B. And that's as far as we got with there. So there's still we've got still three more buttons to learn about. So as with the last video where we continued with the D major scale up into the full second octave, the same is possible with G major. We can continue up into the full second octave. So I'd show you on the keyboard like we do before, but actually we start there and then it goes off the end, so it's actually just duplicating on the keyboard the pattern that we use down here, but moving it all up a bit. So we can deal with some of this quite quickly really, because, well, we go back down just slightly and start on that, we can go on the low G, then go to the octave above. So that's the beginning of this upper octave. We already know that G, we know that A, we know that B, so it stands to reason the next note is going to be on the next button, and it's going to be a C, an octave above the other one we did. And that's exactly what it is, so that was an easy win. And if we push that, C, is it going to be a D? It is a D. And actually that's the same D in terms of pitch that we played on the outside row just now when we were pushing that one. So that was the top of our D scale, but actually on this one, because the G is the higher scale, it's only about halfway along the G scale. So there we go, we've got the D there. Follow D, E, makes sense. And is it the next button along? And is it a pull like it was previously? Absolutely. And again, that E is one which is duplicated on the outside row. And then we have E, F sharp. And the F sharp previously was a pull note when we were on the inside row. If you remember, we had G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, another pull on the next button. Well, that's the same up here. So we've just pulled that E, and we're going to pull the next button, and that's going to give us the F sharp. It's all working out quite well. And then, oh, have we got a G? We have, but like we had down here, the G is actually back one button. So this is another weird example where to go higher in the scale we go the other way on the keyboard. And we're there. We've now got that full top octave G scale. Right, oh, what was that at the end? Almost forgot. There's one note that we've not explored. We used that last end button there to play an F sharp, that was fine. But when I pushed it, whoa, I got a super high note. What's that one? If you use the logic of how the keyboard works previously, we had a G, a B, a D and a G. So if we start up here and we know that's a G, and we follow the same logic, the next one must be a B. And it is. So that's the final one now. We now know all of the notes from about out there all the way down. Okay, something I'm going to show you now as a little extra is the fact that once you've learnt all of these buttons, you get something, if you take both rows into consideration, that you might not have expected. Because if you start on the D that we finished with it on the top of the second octave D major scale, so on that one, and then start working up, it turns out that if you use both rows, you get quite a lot of it, another octave. So you go D, then E on that one, which you've already discovered, then F sharp, which is a push on this one, and then a G, which you have to go for that one to get, and then an A, where you push that one, and then finally a B, where you push that one. So you're only 2 notes off another complete octave just using those funny ones at the end. So yeah, that's something to think about. Something I didn't really cover before, at least totally, was that I mentioned that these notes don't often get included in folk tunes by default, and that maybe you need to use them in other ways. Well, there is one tune that I know of called Autumn Hornpipe by John Spires, who used to be in Bellowhead, and he wrote that so that he would use some of these. So it's something like it starts like that. So you can use them, and you can make your own tunes if you like and include those notes in there. Nothing stopping you. Anyway, yeah, that's covered almost all of the keyboard now. We're doing well, so thanks and well done for keeping at it. Cheers.